Hey guys, thanks for tuning in back to this channel. I hope you had a beautiful day. Myself, it has been a really tricky day. Anyway, today let's talk about depression. Depression can be a real thing, especially if you are working or living away from your family. And this is something that most people will not talk about. I don't know why. Maybe it is just like a sensitive subject, or maybe when you talk about it, it might show some signs of weakness. I don't know. But it is so real and it can hit you hard. In fact, sometimes you can be depressed and you don't even know that you are depressed until it hits you hard to the point that you go through a meltdown or you break down. So let me rewind a little bit. Like today, I have just been at one of my lowest points. I didn't even know. We went to church as usual. It's a Friday. And sure, you could see how much I was dancing, especially because it was like a choir day and there was just so much praise, dancing. And then all of a sudden ni kama kawaya kakakatika tu shop. And we were in the middle of praise. You know, when it's maybe a moment of worship, maybe maybe karoho kamekuguza, and then when you break down, it's normal. But this one is, people are dancing around me, people are praising. And then suddenly I just feel something just hits me. And Helen, my friend, asked me, Angela, are you okay? And I couldn't even answer her. And I just sat down and I wept. I cried. And I tried to fight that feeling, and then I stood back up and then continued dancing. But from that point on, I was not the same again. I was just feeling very, very, very teary. To the point that after we had left the church and we went to some, I think it was something like a beauty bazaar that was happening around Old Airport area, somewhere, Regency Hall. And I was still feeling the same way. You know, sometimes they say that shopping can be therapy. And we were around this place and so much to buy, perfumes, makeup, suitcases, just home appliances, so much stuff. But still, I was just continuing to feel empty. I met one of my subbies. I think her name is Patience, if I'm not wrong. But at that point, I was not in that mood for, vlogging and saying, hey guys, shout out. I met one of my subbies, but shout out, thank you for saying hi to me. I think it was Patience, if I'm not wrong. And then when she asked me, oh, hi, Mambo, how are you? I was like, oh, poa, everything is fine. And deep inside, I was broken and shattered into a million tiny pieces. In fact, just after that, I was telling my friends, can somebody just give me a bottle of alcohol? You see how depression can hit you hard. And my friend was like, you really want alcohol? Okay, fine. And then we went to meet a friend of hers that they were in high school together. And when we got to that place, somewhere in Tumama, when we went into that house, I'm telling you, the alcohol was there, free. And then there was that stench of smoke where people were smoking and drinking. It was like a party or something. All these people, Kenyans, having a good time. You get to that point that you are like, hey, it is never that serious. The environment was just so off, something that you are not used to. Even if I was given that alcohol plus 100 reals or dollars, I still could not have taken it. And I was like, no, I'm good. I'll just have water. Until one of my friends was like, hey, Kwani, you've gotten to this place and it just so off that even the whatever is depressing you has also just surrendered and said, no, I don't need this. It's not that bad. Like, you can go through this. So anyway, back to church. It's fast forward and back. So back to church. That point when usually the pastor says, Sorry, my battery is a little bit low. I hope it will not go off. Are you recording? Yeah. So that point when, you know, the pastor says, turn to your neighbor and tell them, neighbor, I don't know, surely goodness and mercy shall follow you all the days of your life, stuff like that. And I was seated next to a Cameroonian guy, and this guy was so psyched up, but I think he noticed at some point during the service that I was crying. And so when you know, we were supposed to tell each other this, so when I was telling him, the words couldn't even come out. I could, and the tears were just wanted to flow out. And now he started like now saying it, really meaning it. And again, I couldn't stand, so I sat down. And so once the service was over, he sat me down and told me, I don't know what you're going through. I don't know what is making you break down. And I don't even want to know. But all I can tell you is that you're going to be all right. Whatever situation you may be going through, whatever it is that is making you feel so down, so broken, you will go through it. And I'm sure you're wondering, okay, what is going on? What was making me go through all these episodes? So again, flashback around 2 weeks ago. I called my daughter as usual. Normally I just call Veggie Safari, because if I try to call my mom and I want to speak on video call, she always doesn't have bundles. She always just doesn't have bundles somehow. So if I want to like do a video call, I have to first send bundles and then call her. And sometimes I'm just not into that, so I just do a video, voice call, and it's good. So when I was talking to my daughter, suddenly she broke down also. She was depressed, and I think that is what has been affecting me until now. She was depressed and she was telling me, Mom, I want to hold you. I want to feel you. I want you to come back. I don't want to stay away from you anymore. Why do you keep coming and going back to Qatar? I thought the last time you said that when you come back, you will never leave me again. I don't want to stay here. I don't want to stay with Grandma. I don't like this school. I don't like this place. I just want you to come back. And I'm telling her, Mom, but I have to stay here. I have to work. I have to take care of you. And she was like, but even before you went to Qatar, you were still taking care of me. You can find a job here in Kenya. And guys, you know how hard it is to get a job in Kenya. And I know that people are there in Kenya and are working. And this is just a very big dilemma to me that I'm still battling. And I don't even really, at this point, I don't even know what to do. And if I tell my mom that I want to come back, she'll be like, are you serious, girl? Are you really want to leave your job and just come back and sit and what? And eat the child? And sometimes I also ask myself this question, but after she cried and cried and cried like this, I've just never been the same. Imagine your child calling you and crying, and it is just that your sweet little child, and we have this very strong bond that is just, I can't even explain. I don't know. I see some people really desperately saying that they want to leave their kids and they want to come and work, and sometimes I just tell myself, you don't know what you're asking for. It is not easy. I don't know, guys, just tell me, how do you go through this? How do you manage to go months, like to go for months without seeing your children, without being able to hug them, especially when you know that they are also just going through some tough times or some depression of their own. Imagine a 6-year-old going through depression and crying and feeling sorry for herself. It's a really tough thing. So anyway, I spoke to her, and when I spoke to my younger sister, she was like, yeah, sometimes we look at this child and she's not okay. She's not really normal. She's not normal. She's not okay. She really needs you. And I just don't know what I'm going to do. I am not myself without my kid. I am just not. I may sit here, I may laugh. But when I'm laughing, it's very real. When I'm laughing, it's very real. I didn't know the power of this thing. Almost like I'm marketing it. But this, I didn't know that I could even go through this video without shedding a tear. It was that bad. When I was coming back just around 6:30, when I was coming back with the bus, I was still feeling low. I ate like I think 3, do you call it bars? I ate like 3 bars, and this was medicine, dark chocolate. Guys, if you are going through depression, or if you're feeling really low, try having some dark chocolate. The higher the percentage of cocoa in it, the better. This one has like was it 35? I think 45% or what? I think 45%, I think 35%. This one is only 35% of cocoa mass solids, but it really helped to bring my moods back up, because I think it has high content of magnesium that just releases those feel-good hormones. This is not even the first time that I'm going through depression. Sometimes I go to work and I still feel teary for a couple of days, until I think there's some point that my boss would give me like magnesium tablets, and once I take them for like 3 days, but those ones, like, they don't work as fast as dark chocolate. I don't want to show you Galaxy again. You might think that this is a sponsored video. No, just if you can find some really good dark chocolate, it really, that one reacts very fast. I think it just goes straight into your blood and somehow reshuffles your hormones and brings your mood back up. Flashback again. Last year I went home for my daughter's birthday around I think March. Was it in February? I think March or February, I'm not sure, maybe March. And it was only for like 14 days. When I came back, the day that I was coming back, she cried until she turned red. You know, she's light skin. So she turned red, and that image stuck in my head. Even when I was going back, like I had to travel from home to Nairobi by bus. When I was going back, I think I was crying just the whole way, and I kept calling my sister. Is she okay? Has she stopped crying? Was I calling my sister or my mom? I think my mom. Is she okay? Has she stopped crying? And they tell me, yeah, she stopped crying. Oh, my sister-in-law was there. So yeah, I was speaking to her, and she was like, nah, she stopped crying. And I just told her, please just hug her for me, just hold her tight. When I came back, I went through a serious depression. I think that was the time that I had to take magnesium tablets because it was so bad. And I ended up, guys, you don't even know, but I ended up actually resigning from my job. I gave an emergency resignation, and I only gave like 13 days notice. I was ready to get a deduction of 17 days from my salary because I was so ready to go back home because of my child. I was just thinking, and I hated Qatar. I hated this place. Those days I could go out only on Fridays for the church service, and then afterwards come back to my room. Those days I was not vlogging. I was just keeping to myself. I was so depressed. I used to just lock myself in the room and cry and cry and cry. When I couldn't take it anymore, I resigned. I gave my notice of resignation. My final settlement was prepared. But then my boss called me into the office and spoke to me and told me, I thought you came here to like support your child, be able to take care of her. So what is your plan exactly as you go back home? I couldn't even talk. I was just crying and crying in the office and crying and crying. And I think eventually I just came back to my senses, and I thought, okay, seriously, what am I doing? And after that talk, I went and withdrew my resignation, and he told me, you're not allowed to resign in the next 6 months. That I came back, I think, in at the end of March, and around May, I resigned around May, and he told me, you are not allowed to resign until 6 months. So I knew that even if whatever I was going through my head, I had to compose myself. I had to stay put. I could not resign until after 6 months. But eventually, in December, I had some leave days. So I went and I spent 26 days with the child. And it felt a little bit better until again I came back and it hit me. No, I was okay because at least this time when I was coming back, she did not cry. But that day, when just something struck and she cried on the phone, it hit me again. Guys, how do you deal with such issues? Please, I really need to know, like, what do you do to make it better? Is it the video calls? Because for me, today I had to do a video call. What I did, I just sent my mom money, a lot of money, so that she has no excuse. And I told her, please, when the child comes back from school, I need to have a video call with her. I need to see her and I need her to see me. I think it will just make me feel better. So we had a talk and she was just happy and she was singing for me. You know, she composes her own songs in her head. She just I'm glad I'm able to laugh. So she was singing and just talking to me and telling me how her tooth is shaking, and it was so much better than voice calls. You're fine. Yes. Oh, look at you. Look at you. What are you eating? What are you eating? The connection is not good.
Carrot.
You're eating a carrot. Huh? Yes, baby. Huh? Your tooth is shaking.
My tooth?
Which one, Mama? That one. It did not come. Huh? But you're shaking the phone. I can't see you properly. Don't shake. Oh. Your tooth is shaking. Is it painful? It's painful. Huh?
Turning red.
It's turning red. Wow.
It started shaking when? It started shaking when it was on. On Saturday. Not on Sunday. I mean that you have to respect everyone. Jesus is good. Lord is good. Respect others, even if it's your auntie. Respect everyone. Kuwa na akili, kuwa mzuri. Mungu ni mzuri, hakuna nguvu. Sisi tupe moja. Sisi wazuri, watoto missionary. Si pia, sisi ni watoto missionary. Mungu ni mzuri, shetani ni mubaya. Shetani ni mubaya, ako juu, ako chini chini.
So I think it really helps. And from now on, I will just be making sure that the bundles never run out. Whenever I need to talk to her, I think I will call her more often, because normally I just maybe call 3 times a week or 2 times a week, because I feel that maybe if I call too often, then she misses me more. But maybe if I call too often, then she feels my presence more and then she will not be depressed. I don't know. Guys, really, I am doing this because I need to hear your opinion. I know that there are so many mothers out there working away from their children. How do you cope? How do you make the situation better? Because you can't go home every month. You can't go home every few months, because then again, you'll just be dipping into your savings and not really even making any difference at the end of the day. Because at the end of the day, I think we want to build a stronger future for them, so that once we go back, then things are just way much easier than they are. So guys, yeah, that is what was making me really break down. It is so funny that during the week I have been missing my dad. You know, my dad is not that lovey-dovey kind of a person that you can even hug, or you can just call at random and say, hey dad, I just wanted to say hi. Because if you do that, he can even hang up, because he'll be like, why are you even wasting money? My dad, you only call him when you have a problem, a serious problem, maybe financial problem, maybe work-related problem, but don't call him to just say, I was saying hi. But that was then. Because like maybe a week ago, I was trying to call my mom on Geo Safari, which can be a pain if you're calling a Safaricom line. I have to try like 10 times before it goes through. So I was trying to call my mom, because I have to use Geo Safari because she's never online, so I can't use WhatsApp until I call via Geo Safari and then tell her to switch on WhatsApp. So that's my dilemma. So I tried to call my mom could not pick up, or the connection was poor. So I called my dad on Airtel, because Airtel goes through straight away with Geo Safari, and then he did not pick up. So I just that day I couldn't speak to my mom. But when my dad got the phone call, he called me actually the following day. He called me on WhatsApp, and he told me, I got your missed call. Is everything okay? And I just told him, yeah, I was trying to call mom and I couldn't get through to her, so I tried calling your number. And he was like, is everything okay at work? Do you need anything? And I just felt so nice that he cared that much to even ask me how I'm doing. Guys, it's a hard knock life out here. So yeah, depression can be real. You don't know how much, but yeah, to the point that I really wanted to take alcohol, even though I knew that I was not supposed to take alcohol. So depression can make you do like it can make you not feel like yourself. Today I was not feeling like myself. Don't worry, I did not take any alcohol, but I really wanted to. And when it was available, I quickly came back into my senses, and I was like, do I want to risk my job and my reputation? Why? Because of something that I can handle in a different way. But thank God I was with my girlfriends the whole day, and we were at least had the chance to talk and laugh, and we went to the shopping bazaar, and we were just around all these people, and it helped. But honestly, the thing that really helped, dark chocolate. I need to take another bath before I go to bed. Yeah, so dark chocolate, this one really helped. And for me, this one has always been a lifesaver when I'm feeling down, because I often feel down. Because when I miss my daughter, I feel down. When I miss her, I feel down, and then it goes away after some time, and I'm back to normal, and I'm laughing and blah. And then it just hits me. Slowly by slowly, I start missing her. Slowly, I start thinking about her. Slowly, I start thinking her. And this time, I now started missing her. And then I started missing my dad. And then I started missing my mom. And then I started missing home. But I know better than to just put down an emergency resignation and then resign at the end of the day. So don't worry, that is not going to be happening. But I really need to know like how you guys cope in such situations, and what your advice is for me. And thank you so much for listening to me babble about my issues. But yeah, it's just that we are, just because maybe we are YouTubers, we are also like real people with real issues, with real problems. And I know that there is a lot of fakeness around the internet, and people hide their feelings behind the camera, and then once they come back to the camera, you put on your makeup and you act really normal, and then once you turn off that camera, you are broken and you cannot let out these things that are really bugging you. And that is how people end up overdosing like on drugs, or end up dependent on alcohol. But it's, I think some things like this just good to speak out so that other people know that they are not alone. And once I think that a problem shared is a problem half solved. Can't believe 21 minutes I've been babbling, but love you guys. See, you have sat through to the end of this video listening to me babble about my issues. But thank you so much. You people are lovely. And hey, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, hey, please do so. And I will see you on another video. Bye.